You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Why do bad things happen to good people? Part 3. The interesting thing about a question like this is that there's a presumption built in there that on one side there are the good people and on the other side there are the bad people. And through human eyes, bad things happening to bad people, that's okay. But bad things happening to good people, as we would judge what is a good person, is not okay. It's unfair. It's unjust. It shouldn't happen. But in Matthew 5:45, in the context of loving your enemies, Jesus explains that our Father in heaven causes his sun to shine on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. So therefore, it's a sort of a blanket coverage thing. Everybody is subject to the good things in life, the beauty, but also everyone is subject to the barbed wire, to the not so good things in life. That's the way life is. But this statement from Jesus also opens up a window into the heart of God, because he loves everybody, good or bad. So at the human level, people can get into the blame game, and this happened in Scripture, as we said in the last episode too. People are always looking to point the finger somewhere, but God doesn't. He is not the instigator of bad things, and he promises to be with us all the way through. He has this overwhelming desire to deliver us, to save us, to bring freedom into our lives. And as we said, he can't wait to wipe every tear from our eyes. You would have to call the disciples of Jesus good people, but most of them were executed or died horrible deaths. They were following Jesus' footsteps, who was totally innocent, and yet he was accused falsely, treated with massive injustice and unfairness, and he was crucified, a terrible, torturous death in the end. The writer of Hebrews, in Hebrews 11:36, the great faith chapter, gives a long list of people who lived by faith. People like Abraham and Sarah and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph, Moses, on and on the list goes. All these people, men and women, who were heroes of the faith. And then at the end of the chapter, it talks about what they went through. There were people who were tortured, facing jeers and flogging and chains and imprisonment. Verse 37, it says they were put to death by stoning. They were sawed in two. They were killed by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, living in caves and in holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith. They were good people, yet none of them received what had been promised. So here's the key point in this question: why do bad things happen to good people? It's not what happens to a person that matters, it's how we react to those things. I'll say it again, it's not what happens, it's how we react to those things. This is absolutely crucial to get hold of, because it's the difference between sinking or swimming. That's how important this is. And so the amazing thing is that we can actually find peace in the middle of our crisis. I once read a story about a king who offered a prize to the artist who would paint the best picture of peace. A lot of the artists tried because the king was paying for this, and he looked at all the pictures, but there were only two that he really liked that he had to choose between. One picture was of a calm lake. The lake was a perfect mirror for the towering mountains all around it. Overhead was a blue sky, fluffy white clouds, and everyone who saw this picture thought it was the perfect picture of peace. The other picture, the second one, had mountains too, but these were rugged and bare, and above was an angry sky, dark clouds from which lightning came, and down the side of the mountain tumbled a foaming waterfall. This did not look peaceful at all. It was actually the opposite. But when the king looked closely, he saw behind the waterfall a tiny bush growing in a crack in the rock, and in the bush a mother bird had built her nest. And in the midst of the rush of angry water sat the mother bird on her nest in perfect peace. The king chose this painting. And this is why, because, explained the king, peace does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble or hard work. Peace means to be in the midst of all those things and still be calm in your heart. This is the real meaning of peace. May you today find peace, especially with a very important and heavy question like this. God bless you.